What is up, guys? This is Sigler95 coming at you live with a brand new LeafGreen update. We've got an exciting episode going on today. Going to be talking about a lot of different things, got a lot on my mind, but mostly money. We're here on Dank Nugget Bridge. Still going through this list of trainers. I went and healed up my Pokemon. Got Cardi, Bouse Tweed, Tom Cruise, Wavy Dave, P. Bev, and Bieber. One of these days I'll be able to fix that. Let's just go ahead. I think we've got this is the last trainer on this bridge, but there's a hidden trainer afterwards. It's like some Team Rocket guy. He's gonna send on Mankey. So there's a lot of trainers. This is a good place to train up for before you face Misty, the second gym leader. So we're gonna be kind of cruising along. Man, you can't really see my health. I have a new setup. I moved my camera over thinking it'd be a little bit better, but tell me how you guys like it. It makes it a little bit easier for me to handle when I'm recording and stuff, but you guys can't see what you want to see. It's not worth it. Oh gosh. Not a great start for this video. What the heck, dude? My Cardi is so bad. That's not good. It is a level 18 Mankey. It's just pretty high level for this. But I feel like at every episode, I'm just getting wrecked. Why am I getting wrecked? I'm a good trainer. I mean, I think I know what it is. I'm using different Pokemon I'm not used to using. I'm just kind of like trying to play it strategically, but it's not paying off. I don't even have any. Okay, I'm gonna go revive. Well, anyways, I guess we'll go ahead and just hop right in, because clearly I need to wake up and just focus. Today, we're gonna be trying the Magical Elixir. Now, this is another energy drink from my local homeland, I believe. 160 calories, some sodium, potassium, niacin, the vitamins. So basically the same as those other energy drinks we've been trying. Got a little rainbow. Okay, I can safely say I think this is one of my least favorites. My chair keeps going down. I can safely say I think this is one of my least favorites. Not really got too much flavor. It just kind of tastes like... It tastes like it probably was good at one point. Is it flat or expired or something? No? Anyways, big disappointment. Don't try the Magical Elixir. So this guy gives you a nugget for beating all the trainers on Nugget Bridge. Duh. You can sell that for 5K, a fat stack of Pokédollars. And then he starts trying to pester you. He's like, you want to join Team Rocket? Are you sure? Come on, join us. I'm telling you to join. Okay, you need convincing. And then he threatens to beat me up with his Pokemon. It's like, I wouldn't want to join a company or crew or gang like that. Yeah, I guess they're like convincing some 11-year-old kid to try to join a crime syndicate. Couldn't be me. So there's a lot going on in the world right now that I kind of like to talk about. As all you know, we're in a pandemic. Don't even have to mention it. But the big issue right now is vaccines, and actually just recently, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which has been out for probably been accessible for like a little over a month, maybe 2 months. The CDC and the FDA, I think it was the FDA, they tweeted out, well, they made a statement, it wasn't a tweet. Yeah, the FDA. The CDC and the FDA. I didn't even see what it said. Sent out a message basically asking people to halt using the Johnson & Johnson because there have been some cases of people having blood clots. which you may or may not know is a big risk of people that get COVID, is they have clotting. Basically, their blood thickens, and that can lead to a lot of issues like a heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a clot that gets sent to your lungs and makes you unable to breathe. Very deadly. So, I'm gonna go heal up, by the way. So, there's this big whole snafu right now, a big movement. People like anti-vaxxers coming out and saying like, oh, vaccines are all bad and stuff like that. So I just wanted to use this opportunity. I love using my platform, and I love you guys, and I want to share what I know. I want to preface this conversation, and it is a conversation. If y'all want to talk to me through the comments or whatever, or if you know me in real life, hit me up. But I do not claim to know everything. I am not a doctor. Let me start saying I am not a doctor. I am not a virologist by any means. I am not... Everything I say is just based off my experience and what I have researched and what I know through my practice, and not end all. Let me start this conversation with my credentials. So, I grew up, both my parents are practicing physicians right now. My dad is a surgeon, my mother is a clinical pediatrician. So they're both pretty, and I grew up working for them in their offices and stuff, so I've been around even before I went to school. Like, I was around medicine and working in healthcare. I have a bachelor's degree in marketing and a bachelor's of science of nursing, and the only reason I even mentioned the marketing thing is because I had to read a lot of research articles, both medical and non-medical, just marketing research. Party gets up a level. And so I feel like I have at least above average knowledge and experience in like finding good data. You know, there's the news, and if you only get your information from the news, then you're silly. But that doesn't mean everything by the news is bad. And just because something's published in a research article doesn't mean it's useful data to you and what you apply for. So that's the only reason I mentioned the marketing thing, is that I've been exposed to a lot of research, and I know how to pick out, or at least I feel like I know how to pick out good information and bad information. So I have then a bachelor. I've been in nursing school, and I've passed my nursing board, so I'm an RN, and I work currently in a cardiac ICU. I've been working, and I've been an RN since January. So that's some of my background. I also, during my prerequisites, I studied, I did not mean to click that, by the way. I studied microbiology, and it was taught by a virologist by trade, who, his specialty is he studies HIV, which is a very dangerous retrovirus that causes AIDS. So I feel like my microbiology experience, as it relates to viruses, was actually a little bit more acute, a little bit more specialized in viruses than just microbiology in general. Because a lot of different classes take microbiology, or a lot of different, what are they called? Majors take microbiology. So anyway, so that's me. That's what I know. Pretty much the only reading that I do outside of like any personal reading I do is research articles or medical articles or stuff like that. I don't really do much reading for just pleasure. Anyway, so that's my background. Here's a new Pokemon we haven't seen before. This is Bellsprout. This is a poison, or a grass type, not poison, I apologize. Evolves twice, so that's always good for stat gain. It's actually a really good Pokemon, I'd say. Obviously, Bulbasaur is better, but I think Bellsprout is better than Oddish, and most people usually tend to pick between one of those two if they don't have a grass type. So I'm gonna catch it just to have it. Anyways, so let's talk about vaccines now that I've kind of set the mood, I guess. I'm just kind of rambling on. You know, this thing does get a little bit better as you keep drinking it, but maybe it's just because it's giving me energy. So vaccines. There are a couple of, there are differences between the Moderna, the Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson is the most different. Pfizer and Moderna are a little bit different, but all in all, they're pretty similar. So COVID or coronavirus is a RNA virus. There's RNA, which is the precursor for DNA, and then there are DNA viruses. Another Bellsprout. Wait, did I kill that thing? Did I catch it? Totally not even paying attention. I'm in total autopilot. Looks like I did not catch it because I don't have a Pokeball next to it. Wow. Sorry, guys. I just totally zoomed out. So, an example of like a DNA virus is HIV. RNA is COVID, SARS, the common cold, those kind of things. RNA viruses they're easier to reproduce and multiply. And that is because, oh, I can't be switched out because he used bind on me. Crap. Bro, that sucks. Since RNA is a simpler molecule, I guess is the easiest way to describe it. Normally you have something that proofreads DNA before it's replicated. RNA doesn't get proofread, so it's easier for something to get messed up, and it's easier for mutations to occur. That is one of the many reasons that coronavirus is so contagious. So the vaccine works in an mRNA. It is an mRNA vaccine, and what it does is it exposes you to. It's kind of hard to describe this. So viruses attack by attaching onto your cells, and then they essentially hijack that cell and rewrite the instructions, the DNA or RNA in that cell, and basically make that cell make more of the viral particles. Eventually, it makes so much of the viral particles that the cell bursts, and I think that's called proliferation. And the cell bursts, and then it releases tons of other viral particles. Those viral particles hooked onto something else, hijack it, and it continues. And that's how you become infected with a virus. Viruses need certain proteins to be able to attach onto your cells, and a large majority of vaccines work by making that protein not able to work. If the virus is not able to attach to a cell, it is not able to infect it. That is, from my understanding, I know that is how the Moderna vaccine works. It puts in your body essentially the building blocks for what that protein of the coronavirus vaccine uses. And your body sees this, recognizes it, and says, hey, this is foreign, let's attack this. Once that process starts happening, you have in your body what are called memory cells, and these cells will be able to, they'll hold on to this information and be like, next time I see something like this, I know what it is, and I'll be able to run back to the immune system and say, hey, this is bad. Because most cells don't have long lives, and a large majority of your cells won't. They will only do things when they're directed to do it, and then they'll do it, and then they'll die, and that's it. But memory cells hold on to this information for long periods of time. That's why vaccines work. That's why if you get something like chickenpox as a kid, you're a lot less likely. I won't say impossible because nothing's impossible, but a lot less likely to ever get chickenpox again because you have memory cells in your body that will recognize it and be able to fight it off before it infects you. Golly, my Pokemon are just getting wrecked. I just have no defensive Pokemon. So, when you have a reaction to a vaccine, as a lot of people are, after I had the first Moderna dose and my arm swelled up, but that's it. I didn't get sick. I never got a fever. My arm just hurt a lot. The second dose, however, I did get sick. I didn't get a fever, but I felt like a weight was on my chest, like I had a hard time breathing. I felt like I just felt 100 pounds heavier, and I had to work that day, and it was really tough. It was a tough day at work. But it only lasted a day. Now, there are some people who get fevers. Now, I had chills, too. There's some people that get fevers, and everyone freaks out, and they say, oh, the vaccine's bad because it does this. No, that's your body doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It is having an immune reaction to a foreign body, a foreign entity. And so that's how a large majority of vaccines work. Herd immunity is something I hear brought up a lot. The belief of herd immunity is that I think it's a number pretty high. It's like 85, maybe 90% of a group of people, a herd, are, if they're inoculized or immune to a disease, that disease won't have the chance to be passed on as much because most people are immune. But in order for that to work, a large majority of everyone has to be vaccinated. And the people that aren't being vaccinated, and those numbers need to be reserved for people that are immune compromised that maybe can't get a vaccine, or like people with cancer, or children, where some vaccines aren't advised for children because, one, they haven't been studied long enough on kids, and two, your immune system's not fully developed yet. So there are a lot of vaccines that aren't recommended to kids under 16, so we just don't know what'll happen. So you need to reserve the few number of people that are not immune in a herd immunity. What's happening nowadays is not everyone, but there's a movement of anti-vaxxers who think that vaccines are bad and they cause autism and stuff like that. And the doctor who actually made that study was proven to be a fraud, and he actually lost his license because of what he published saying that vaccines caused autism. So he's not even a doctor anymore, and people are using his argument. Crazy stuff. Anyways, I'm not here to bash on them. Everyone's, I guess, entitled to their own healthcare. But if you have a large majority of people, like let's say for instance you have 30% of people that aren't vaccinated, and inside that 30% are the anti-vaxxers and the people that are too sick to be able to get a vaccine. Well, that's a large number, and that is enough of a number for the vaccine, or for the virus to not only spread, but it has the chance to mutate. Most of the time when viruses are mutating, it's because they're being passed from person to person, and they're having to do different things inside each person that it changes and adapts, and that's how it gets stronger. If you stop a virus from spreading, it's not going to mutate. So there's that whole thing. I mean, this is all very simplified. I'm just kind of rambling into a microphone, but that's herd immunity. The thing that's going on with the Johnson & Johnson thing is that some people are having... Now, Johnson & Johnson's a one-time shot. I'll admit I don't know entirely the method of action on why the Johnson & Johnson vaccine can only be one time and how it's different from Moderna. I will say, though, that everyone's worried because this blood clotting thing, well, that's not necessarily a side effect of the vaccine. That's most likely a side effect of the coronavirus symptoms that you are having because the vaccine is working to... The vaccine is acting like COVID in your body. I don't know fully on that, but everyone's freaking out about it. Well, this is what I will say about that. I have some of the data right here. There have been 6 cases in the U.S. of rare and severe blood clots in individuals after receiving the vaccine. That's extremely rare. They've been given 6.8 million plus doses of the Johnson & Johnson have already been given out. Out of 6.8 million, 6 people have had this clotting problem. Now, obviously, if you're one of those 6 people, it's the whole world, and that's a big deal. But I will say this, women take birth control pills all the time. I think it's pretty close to like 1 in 1,000 women on birth control have some sort of blood clotting issues. And that has something to do with just the hormones that birth control have that cause your blood to kind of thicken. And that can lead to blood clots. But women take birth control all the time. And I'm not saying they shouldn't at all. But That has a risk of blood clots, and no one's like freaking out. And it has a much more significant risk. People just really get hyped up in the media, and they see that these things are bad, and they're like, "Oh, that's terrible. It's gonna cause me to die. I'm not gonna get a vaccine." But it's like so much research goes into this stuff, and if there was really a major risk, it wouldn't be released. That's one thing I can promise you. Like, even though the vaccine was done faster than most vaccines are done, that's because things are moving quicker than they ever have before. I mean, you and I both know, all of us know how quickly that pandemic happened. I mean, it was like one month it was like, oh, there's a virus in China, and then it's like 3 months later, don't leave your house, and it like just moved across the entire world. That's me going across the map. See, I might learn double team. Kind of a cheesy move. It makes your evasion go up, so it's harder for enemy to hit you. Actually, no, I don't have room. I don't have room. Never mind. Yeah. So maybe don't get the Johnson & Johnson. I don't even know if you can get it right now. But if you can, I would highly advise you getting the vaccine if you can. I know it's not available to everyone yet, but I would highly recommend it. Not only for just the peace of mind, but they say when you get both your doses of Moderna and Pfizer, that it's somewhere in the upper 90% immune. And even if you are infected, or exposed, I should say exposed, they're saying that you only have to quarantine for, like, I think it's like 24 hours. 24 to 48 hours, as opposed to like 2 weeks as people were having to quarantine. My little sister had to quarantine because she was studying abroad in France when all this went down, and she almost got trapped in France. She made it out like 2 or 3 days before they shut down travel. But she had to quarantine for like 14 days, and that was really hard on my parents. I mean, they ended up making it work, but only having to quarantine for like 2 days as opposed to 2 weeks is amazing. And on top of that, you can protect your loved ones. If you have someone in your family who can't get vaccinated, or because they're sick, or because it's not available, they're too old, too young, you can protect them just by getting vaccinated. You may feel bad for a day or two, but you know, it's definitely worth it. At least worth looking into. Now, it's just like, I think it's going to be a lot like the flu shot, where we're going to have to get a vaccine every once in a while. I'm not sure how often, just because of how much COVID mutates and stuff. It really depends. Now, the whole mask debate, I'm not even going to get into that, actually. I will just say that Asia has been wearing masks for a long time, and that's partially due to disease and partially due to just the air quality there is terrible, just because of pollution and all that. But I know in my line of work and healthcare, working in ICU, I know I'll never go back to not wearing a mask. It's just not going to happen. In real life, like some cities, like the city where I live, they already lift the mask mandate. It was silly, but it's like no one's enforcing. Like, you could just walk into a building and without a mask. But anyways, let me check and make sure I covered all my topics I want to talk about. Yeah, I think that's it. That's kind of like my rant. That was partially fueled by an energy drink. But I just want to say, like, got any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. I believe strongly in this, but I'm also on the side of, you know, I'm not going to be able to convince anyone by yelling and saying you're dumb or you're stupid for believing a certain thing. You know, we all have reasons to believe what we believe. I would just encourage, if you have questions or if you're nervous or scared, or I encourage you to, like, research it. Don't just go off headlines. You gotta actually, like, find the real data. And that's a skill, because it's not that easy to read research articles. It's really not. They're wordy. They have datas and coefficients and a lot of stuff like that. So it can be intimidating. But trust your physicians. They go to school for a long time. Physicians and healthcare workers, they go to school for a long time, and I'm not saying every doctor's good and every doctor's smart, but I think in general they sacrifice a large portion of their life to studying and learning about the human body and medicine. So they're worth listening to. Journalists do not spend a large amount of time studying research or medicine or the human body. They are just looking for headlines. Well, this has been a long video of just chatting. I wanted to get through that. I've just been seeing a lot of people talking about the vaccine, and this is a good way to get what I know out. We just been cruising through, killing these trainers. I honestly thought we'd already be done with them. Looks like we may not get to Misty's palace tonight, or today. Sun's still out. Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it? I have some plans for what my final team's gonna look like. I'm talking with some other Poke fans who've been watching my channel. Thanks to everyone who is. Like, I don't want to go back and heal, but there's like 3 more trainers left. Oh gosh, there's like 4 more trainers left. Alright, I think I'm going to call it here, guys. Thanks for listening. Sorry if my rant turned you off. Just wanted to talk about what I know and what I love. Next time we're going to be talking to Misty, going to her gym, and challenging her. I'm going to make sure to fit all that in. New video should be coming out in about 2 days or so. I'm off for the next few days, so there's my cat back there, Posey. Can't be bothered. This has been Sigler95. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Like, subscribe, hit those buttons. I will see you all next time.